Okay, hello, good evening. How are you all doing today? And I know that we've got, okay, great. Okay, let me just wait for people to log in. And I know that we've got children coming in from so many countries. I know children coming in from India. I know children coming in from Nepal, children coming in from Bangladesh. Amazing. I am so very excited and so thrilled to conduct this workshop. Of course, it's going to be around bricks and blocks, and we're going to have a lot of fun. But you know what I want to know first? I want to really know, where are you coming from? So what you need to do is, you have a chat box at the bottom, where you are seeing my presentation now. What you need to quickly do is write the name of your child and the age, and where are you attending this workshop from. So are you from India? Which part of India? India is such a huge country. So are you from the north? Are you from the south? Are you from the west? Or are you from the east? And of course, if you're coming from Nepal, Bhutan, or Bangladesh, let me know. I really want to know, where are you coming from. Great. So while you type in all of that, what I have to quickly do is tell you, who am I. My name is Mrunal, and I'm the founder at Sunday Bricks. And of course, today I'm going to engage you in some fun-filled activities with blocks. Yes. So what have I done now? Before I even begin anything, I want you to make sure that all your blocks are sorted either color wise, or they're kept shape wise. Okay, so it could be of this shape, or it could be as small as this. So whatever you have, just make sure that you sort it and keep it, and you are ready for the workshop. And of course, I'm going to divide this workshop in two parts. So first part is going to be where we're going to do a game. That's going to be a fun game with the parent and the child. And of course, in the second part of the workshop, we are going to build a bookcase. Let me just quickly show you what are we going to build today. So this is exactly what we are going to build today. I'm just going to move my little friends away. I'm just going to keep them away. But let me quickly show you what are we going to build in the second part of our workshop. Great. So I'm sure you've started typing in where you are coming from, and I am really super excited to begin this. Now, of course, oh wow, we've got people coming in from Goa. We've got people coming in from Guwahati. I can see children coming in from Kolkata. Naisha is from Bangalore. Amazing, superb, superb. It's going to be a nice, fun-filled 1 hour that we are going to be here together. Great. So what are we going to do first? What are we going to do first is, we're going to do a short game. We're going to do a very, very short game. So what do I need from y'all is, if you can just pick up 6 bricks, okay? Any 6 bricks. So I have just picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And of course, that's where the real learning starts, because if we are dealing with toddlers who are of the age 2 to 3, remember, counting also plays an important role in their day-to-day school activities. So absolutely, parent, with this workshop, we start all the little educational fundamentals, or all the educational fun games, right? So ask them to quickly count 6 blocks, and we are going to quickly begin this workshop. But as I said, we're going to start with a game first, okay? So what's the rule of the game? I know by now you've got your blocks. What's the rule of the game? Very, very simple. We're going to build a tower. Now, building tower was always very simple. Now let's see if you are going to be able to make this one, because the name of this game is called Tricky Tower, okay? So let's see how Tricky Tower works. What are you supposed to do? You are supposed to stack or build a tower, but you're supposed to build, you're supposed to build it on short end to short end. So that's a short end, and that's a long end. So you are going to build a short end to short end tower, okay? Now I'm going to begin, and I want to know if you are ready to begin this little small game, okay? Now, trust me, this little game is going to test so many things. I'm going to come back to that really, really quickly, okay? But first, let's not worry about all the things that we're going to learn, but let's just understand and focus on the game. So what am I doing? I am trying to build a tall tower, okay? Come on, children, I want you to start doing that. And if you've got a lot of bricks, so maybe the mama or the daddy also can build, and also the child is going to build. So let's see who builds the tallest tower, okay? So I have put my first block, Then I've come to my second block. And here I am on my third block. Here I am on my fourth block. Now remember the tower is going to wobble, okay? Now what are we doing first here? This is where the fine motor skills of your child is coming into action, okay? Now there's also hand-eye coordination. There's a lot of focus that's happening in because they're concentrating here, but their hands are going to wobble and probably the tower might just fall off, okay? Now my 6 bricks are already in place. Now, if you've got more blocks, come on. Woo! Look, look, look. You know what is happening? I'm speaking. So there's a little bit of a wind or a little bit of an air that's coming off my lips, and that's why my little tower fell off. But I want to know how many blocks were you able to stack? Quickly type in the chat box how many blocks were you able to stack it up. Okay. Now there's also a method how you stack, which of course children are going to learn. But while you type in the chat and you tell me how many blocks you were able to stack up, I'm going to quickly let you know what happened during this game. This was a very, very short, like a 30-second game, but so many things were learned here by the child. For example, when the child was stacking on short end to short end, the most important was the fine motor skills. Then, of course, the hand-eye coordination, because I'm looking at this, I am looking here, but my hands also have to place it at the right, on the right spot. Great. And then what happened? Once the tower was tall, the child started getting excited. There was a sense of happiness. There was a sense of, enjoyment that was building up in the child. And you know what happened when the tower fell off? That was the most amazing moment. But, if you've built a very, very strong tower, what you can still do is just ask the child to blow. So let's see who's going to blow harder. It's going to be the daddy, it's going to be the mama, or it's going to be the child. So 1, 2, 3. Woo! And my one block has just gone off so far. So that's a lot of excitement, a lot of happiness, and a lot of joy that the child is getting through. So this is exactly why your schools, your preschools are making sure that they have bricks and blocks in the school. Bricks and blocks are definitely the fundamental building methods, the first structured toy that your child is going to enjoy in the school. And what do parents feel? Arey, block se kya hone wala hai? The child is just going to make a tower. Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. No, there is a lot more that you can do with blocks. And exactly that's why my workshops are called as Building Beyond Towers, or that's exactly what your school or your preschool is trying to let children know, creative ways of building with bricks and blocks. Another challenging element to the game. And then, of course, I'm going to move towards the building part. So, for example, you told me, okay, if you had an older child here, a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old, and he or she was really able to build this, and he was like, "Ye to uncle ne bahut simple game bataya." Okay, now let's make it tricky for the child. What are we going to do? That's the tool that I'm going to use now. Get the peg for your child. Okay, maybe you can do this later after the workshop is done. But get a peg for the child, and now tell your child, you are not allowed to use your fingers, okay? What are you going to do? You're going to use the peg and then build the tower. Let's see what happens with that. So, for example, let me just show you. I have picked it up with the peg. Now, using the peg itself involves a lot of fine motor skills, and it's not really, really easy for children to do that. But of course, if they practice it, it's going to be very easy because, when to hold it and when to leave it is really, really challenging. So, for example, where to hold the block is also challenging for them, and they are going to really struggle with this. But if they're able to even put 4 bricks or 5 bricks on top of the tower, the sense of happiness is going to be really, really amazing. So exactly as I said, you just don't build towers, but there is a lot more that a child can do with blocks. And of course, it has to be game. Everything has to be game and everything has to be played. Just quickly before moving on to what are the different types of blocks and then moving on to creative building, let me tell you that why is it even during pandemic your school is actively being engaged with the child in a playful manner, because play is actually the work of the child. Okay, remember, children can express their feelings, their needs, their desires, their wants, everything in form of play, right? Play is actually their language, and the little toys that they have, they're actually the words of the child. So please allow them to play. Play is actually the real development for the child. And of course, with all the engagement activities that your school is dealing with or the school is engaging with, continue that. It's going to be a fun-filled way of getting rid of this pandemic. Great. So now, before I move on to creative building, remember I said at the start that, okay, if there are some comments coming in, do let me know and I can always answer them. But as I said, we're going to be building a little bookcase. So along with the blocks, if you can just make sure that you can quickly get two little books of the child, and we will quickly begin with the workshop. Okay. Great. I'm just looking if there are comments here, and of course I'm gonna be answering all those either during the session or after the session. Great. So before I quickly start building, let me show you what are the different types of blocks that are available. So these are definitely the most common type of blocks that you also see in your preschool, and this is great for kids until the age, from the age of 1.5 until the age of 2 or 2.5. And then of course they can move on to something like this. This size of the block is what they can get onto next. Okay, now these are called as Duplo blocks. And of course, once they are 5 and above, they have to start using this, and these are called as bricks. So this is block, these are blocks, and these are called as bricks, right? And have you ever wondered what is this little thing on top? What are you seeing here? What are they called? Absolutely. These are called as studs, okay? On top of the block or on top of the brick, whatever you see, they're called as studs. So it's very important to know why they're called studs. One reason, because they interlock into each other. So, a stud is getting fixed here. And another very important thing is, how do you refer to this brick? This is not, okay. So for example, if I have to say, get me a yellow block, get me a green block. So this is also a green block and this is also a green block. So what's the difference between this? As a parent, as a teacher, we must know what's the difference between this. How am I going to differentiate between these two? So for example, this is a 2x2 block. This is a 2x2 block. So I'm going to say, my son's name is Suhan. So I'm going to tell him, Suhan, get me a 2x2 block. Or I'm going to tell Suhan, get me a 2x4 block. So that's 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a 2x4 block, right? So as a parent, as a teacher, it's very, very important for us to know these small little terminologies. Great. So I think that was a lot of understanding. That was a lot of, inputs in terms of bricks and blocks. I think we need to really get on to building something very creative. Okay. Now, what I quickly want to know is that, is your material ready? Are you ready with your blocks? And of course, 2 little books that a child is currently reading. So my son is currently reading Roald Dahl. So I quickly found that. So I just want to know, quickly type in the comment section or in the chat section that, are you ready with your material? And I'm just going to quickly sip in some water and we're going to start building creatively. Great. Wonderful. And of course, if I miss out on any comments, I am going to make sure that I answer all your questions. So also, if you have questions about what blocks to buy, where to buy, and all of that, we can always answer all of that later. Great. And I can also see some people have joined in. So welcome again to the workshop. And of course, you've just missed the game part and the introduction part, but now we're building something creative. Okay. So what are we going to do? You can see this is all clean here. And what am I going to do? I first need 7 of 2 by 4 brick blocks. So that's, as I said, that's a 2 by 4 block. I want to make sure that you are ready with 7 of those blocks, and I'm just going to lay them in front of you so that you are exactly going to understand how we're going to build. Okay. As I said, we're building a little bookshelf. But I forgot something. As I said, that building beyond towers, one very, very important thing that I forgot while you get your material ready. Remember, if you give a challenge to the child, if you give them an agenda, if you give them a goal that, okay, this is what needs to be built, that's when their mind exactly starts working, and they will be able to think in terms of how or what material am I going to use to build this thing that my mama or daddy has asked me to build. Okay. So today's challenge for children is that you have a favorite book. Okay. Okay. Now, Hungry Caterpillar is a favorite book for a lot of children. So your favorite book is Hungry Caterpillar, and this book is lying somewhere in the house. So the agenda or the goal is that let's build a little bookcase. Let's build a little bookcase for this favorite book. Okay. Great. So what I want you to do is I want you to get me 7 blocks, and I am just going to quickly put them all in an order here. Okay. We just have to put it on the table. So now let your child know that, we need 7 blocks. So activity number 1 is all about counting. So they're going to count 7 blocks, and I want them to put it in a neat line, in a straight line here, so that later on we can join this up. Okay. Now, I'm going to use alternate colors so that it's easy for you to look in the screen. Okay. Right. Okay. So I've added my block number 1. That's my block number 2. And that's my block number 3. Here I'm adding my block number 4. Block number 5. Okay. Now, did you notice I'm also building a pattern? Children love patterns. So for example, it's amazing to let their mind start working immediately with even a simple activity. Now here we've got a pattern here. The next question for the child is green, yellow, green, yellow, green. What's the next color? Yes, and it's yellow. So that's more like a sequencing and a lot of other elements that get into that get into a mind of the child. So what have I done here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I need another block, my 7th block. So here I have added 7 blocks in a row. Okay, now quickly just type in number 7, and that's how I know that you were able to lay down all the 7 blocks in front of you on the table. Okay, great. Also, I would recommend that children always build it on a nice flat surface because it's nice and strong and it's sturdy. And things like balancing, things like understanding where to apply pressure is easy when you're doing it on a flat surface. Okay, so I can see a lot of comments coming in wherein you mentioned number 7, which means that I know that you were able to lay this. Thank you very much for helping me out by typing in. Great. Absolutely. So I've got Nirmala Mahendran also here who's typing in. Great. Thank you. Okay, so what are we going to do next? Next, I'm going to just pick up some more blocks and we are going to lock this up. Now, how are we going to lock this up? Let me just show you. Okay, let me just quickly show that to you. Okay. Now, I'm going to leave the first stud here. Okay. Or here, I'm going to leave the first stud and I'm going to lock it after that. Okay. Let me just show you what happens. Let me just show you what I did. That's exactly what I did. I removed, I didn't put anything on my first stud. And then I started locking like this. Okay. That's very, very simple. Remember, right now, I can't lift up all of this because they're all loose. What are we trying to do now is we are trying to join all of them together. Okay. Great. So what am I going to do next? I'm going to use different colors so you all can see. Okay. And then I'm going to add another block here. And then I'm going to add another block here. Remember, this is how it looks. Okay. Now, there's another activity here for your child. Come on. What are they going to do? If they've added these 3 blocks, they are just going to use one finger. They're going to use one finger. And let's ask them to check if they are able to hold it up like this. Okay. Again, your motor skills are coming into place. Again, your hand-eye coordination is coming into place. And it's a lot of excitement, lot of, a lot of anxiety and fear that, oh God, what's going to happen? Is it going to break? And maybe while you were picking this up, it's also fallen off and it's broken down. Don't worry. Let the child rebuild it again, and that's where iteration comes into place. That if things are broken, if things don't work in the way it has to happen, we can always redo it and we can do it in a better way. But what the challenge here was, how high can your child take this little thing that they've built here? Great. So do check and do test that. Okay, so now if you build this, I am just going to quickly turn this and I'm going to show you the side, and we're going to add a block here. Okay, but remember there has to be a space left here. Okay, I'm just going to quickly show you. There has to be a little space left here. That's how I have locked it up. Great. And what am I going to do is I am going to continue building my boundary. Okay, I am just going to quickly show you what happens next. Right, I am using alternate colors. So that it's very, very easy for you all to identify what I am doing. And of course, aesthetically also it looks nice. Now look, I am able to hold this entire thing. Your blocks fell off, Yogendra Patel, your blocks fell off, no problem at all. Just take another 1 minute and your child will be able to build it. But that's exactly fun, how high they can take it up. It's another game, While building, if you add the element of fun, if you make things as a game, because learning through play or learning in a fun way is exactly how children learn and how they want to learn. Great. So coming back to this is exactly how it has to look. I'm just going to show you. It is much more stable. Absolutely. Great. Now, if you were able to finish the boundary, just type in 0, or just type in 0, and I know that you were able to complete this. Okay, so just type in 0. Right. Now another quick activity that's coming up here is you need to ask your child, what is the shape that has come out here? Is it a square? Is it a rectangle, or is it a triangle? As I said, every step that a child is taking while building with bricks and blocks, there is so much to learn. Okay, so I can see a lot of zeros coming in, which means that you are able to complete this. Wonderful. Now what are we going to do? Now is a test. Okay, now is a test. Get the book that your child had. And just try and place it here in the bookshelf. What happened? Whoops, the book just fell off, which means that the bookcase is not complete. Let's just do another check. The book just fell off. Oh my God, what's wrong? Now we need to ask the child, what are we going to do? How are we going to solve this problem? How can we quickly solve this problem? Okay, so in a fun way, we're teaching them problem solving skills. Okay, in our life, we're going to come across so many different problems. And it all starts with play. It all starts with fun. Absolutely. So what is it that I want to know? Type in the chat box. What is it that the child is going to suggest? What are we supposed to do? How can we make sure that this little book doesn't fall off? What is the idea by which that this book is not going to fall off? Right. Okay, I can see some comments coming in where parents are typing in is that increase the height of this. Yes. We have to add more blocks and increase the height of this. So what am I going to do? I am just going to quickly take blocks. She's having lots of fun. Do build again and again. Yes, I'm building again and again. Absolutely. Great. Wonderful. Now, I am just going to add one. I'm just going to add one block here. And I'm going to show you another technique that you need to know is interlocking. Can you see these two blocks? Always encourage your child to do the interlocking method, wherein when you have two blocks here, you add another block on top of it. And that's how you can make a real strong structure. And that's how you can also show them the picture of a construction site and show them that, look, this is how they're laying the bricks. So this is also how we build or we lay our blocks. Great. So what are we going to do? We are quickly going to start locking them. And again, it's going to be in the interlocking method. Okay. Okay. And I am just going to rush up now. I can see that you all are really speeding up on this, but let's not worry about this. I want to quickly show you. You can build there, you can build there, but I'm going to quickly show you what's happening here. That's exactly what I've done. So what I've done is I've increased the height of my bookshelf, and now my book is safe. My book doesn't fall off. Now again, depending upon what book you have, you can always encourage your child to build a little, add more blocks here and make it little more tall. Okay. So let's just check this one. This one, Roald Dahl, is just falling off. So maybe adding another 2-3 layers is going to be fun. Okay. Another thing, at the bottom, if you want to make it a little stronger, if you've got more blocks, again in a locking pattern, let me just show you. Let's just build a little stand here at the bottom. Okay, I'm just going to show you what am I doing here. What have I added? I have added these little red blocks here just to make sure that the bricks at the bottom are locked. It's all about locking to make a very, very strong structure. Now my book is all ready here. Now, if you want to make this even more interesting, okay, a lot of children have Hot Wheels cars, especially boys. They're crazy with Hot Wheels cars, okay? So you can encourage them to build a small little garage here, So maybe they could take a little plate that they have and build a little mini garage here, okay? If you've also got these, if you've got these little figures here, what you can do is you can start adding them here. If you've got those little plastic animals, you can start adding them here. What are we trying to do? We're just trying to make this little corner as the most beautiful corner, because what is going to happen, what are we going to do here? We're going to tell the child every book that we read from today onwards, we are going to put it in the bookshelf. So what's going to happen? The child is always going to be eager. The child is always going to be eager to quickly finish reading the book and then add it in the bookshelf, because he is very happy or she is very happy because he or she actually created this little creative bookshelf or a book case. Okay. Now, whatever they've got little animals. They can just place it up here. All the little figures can go here. And this place is going to look so amazing. Whatever craft material that they do, they can add it up here. Just add anything that is attractive and that they like and that they really cherish. Great. So this was such a very, very simple and an easy build. There are so many things that you can do. As I said, all that you have to do is challenge your child. Let the child kind of think and build something. For example, daddies can say that, my phone just keeps lying around in the house. Can you just build me something wherein I can keep my phone? Or look, all your pencils and your sketch pens and your crayons are lying somewhere. Can you quickly build me something? So, they're going to start thinking about what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? So it's going to be all about, they start thinking about shapes. We need to tell them that look, what you can do is build something that's square. So the next question is, how is it going to be square? It could either turn into a rectangle also. So that's when we guide them and tell them that, when the 4 sides are similar, it becomes a square. That's of course for the older children, but not for the younger children. So I hope you really enjoyed this little workshop. And of course, I am open to all the questions here. But, there is a lot of, while the questions come in, let me tell you parents that there's an immense power in play. Play definitely helps your child in multiple things. It helps in developing the cognitive skills, creative skills, emotional skills, also social skills. And of course, okay, I think I'm getting questions now. So I'm going to quickly get onto that, and I'm going to get onto my explanation on that. My son is playing with blocks from the age of 2. He is 5 and he is 5.9 years old. You know what? When you buy, okay, my age is 38 and I am still building with bricks and blocks. You can actually use bricks after the age of 5, and it could be a great hobby for the child. They look around, they while they're walking or they go to school, they look around something, and if they've got bricks and blocks handy at home, the first thing that they're going to do is come and quickly build this. What's the most unique thing about blocks? When I compare it with clay, when I compare it with Play-Doh, or a lot of other elements that children need for their early development, with blocks you can build it in all the 3 dimensions. You can build something very, very tall, you can build something very, very wide, and of course you can build something very, very long. So all those dimensions are easily achievable with the help of blocks. So absolutely, even if your child is 5 or 6, just continue. There is no age limit to this. I mean, it has to really start from home. The moment the child starts teething, it's really, really safe to start getting them blocks and let them build. Sequencing, patterning, all of that is very, very important, because once they start robotics, computational thinking needs sequencing. Step 1, after that, step 2, step 3, all of that means computational thinking, and all of that is possible with the help of bricks and blocks. Absolutely right. So, of course, if you have more questions, please ask me, and I'll be very, very happy to answer them. And of course, if you enjoyed building this, parents, please take pictures of what your children have built. And this video is going to go live on your school's Facebook page. So what you have to do is quickly take a picture and then just add it in the comment section later on, because the school, the teachers, and the management really wants to see what children have built. Absolutely. As I said, I'm going to repeat again, give them an agenda, give them a goal, and trust me, they are going to be building something really amazing. And I really want to see what they exactly build, right? So if there are more questions, I'll be very, very happy to answer them. Right. So I'm here to take your answers. I'm here. Okay, my daughter is 4 years old. What kind of blocks should we buy? If your child is 4, it's great to start with this. If you already see that your child is engaging with these blocks, it's also good to start engaging the child with bricks. Okay, if the child is 4, actively engaged with blocks, you can also, if you have to buy something now, you can engage the child with bricks also. Right. Absolutely right. Great. And I can see another question coming in from a parent, that how do we engage, how do we make sure that this becomes a hobby for the child? Right. Remember, when you buy for them bricks and blocks, trust me, it's not about just giving them the toy and letting them know that, okay, now this is what we've got for you, start building. Okay. The question that comes in the child's mind is that, what am I going to build? So initially, for maybe 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, you will have to help the child in building, you'll have to help the child in building something creatively, give them some ideas, and trust me, they'll be able to do things, as simple as, building something with patterns. So for example, even asking them to build a pattern is a great way of engaging them. Also, what you can also do is quickly take some blocks and make a little, make a simple pattern and tell them, okay, now this is what I have built. Come on, can you also replicate the same thing? And that's when all the thinking actually starts. Then they will start loving the blocks that they are, that they have. And then they will start thinking, what more I can do? Then they'll mix their Hot Wheels with blocks. They'll make a little dollhouse with the blocks. They're going to make a garage, and just name it, and they will be able to build it. But it has to get into them at a very, very early age. Great. So I'm going to be here for another minute, and if there are more questions coming in, I'll be very, very happy to answer them. But of course, if you really want to see, if you quickly want to see what I had built at the start, I'm just going to quickly show you. Here is what I had built without the books. You can actually see it here. I actually made a double case, so I can put my book here in the front and I can also keep my book at the back. So, with whatever blocks that they have, they can just engage and, kind of decorate it and make it as the most beautiful corner that they have. Great. So if you have any more questions for the next 30 seconds, I'll be very happy to answer them. And of course, if you type in the comments, I will answer all of that very, very soon. Great. So I'm going to wait for another 15 seconds. If not, I'm very happy that you all are part of this workshop. And of course, a special thanks to your school for allowing me to conduct this introductory workshop, along with a little game. And of course, I hope that you, during this lockdown or during this pandemic, are going to engage your child with blocks. Great. So thank you very much. Okay, sorry. I just missed a question. Somebody was asking me a question. Which block? Okay. Can we use Jenga in place of blocks? Okay. So now remember, Jenga, they are wooden tiles. There's a limitation to what you can build with Jenga. And also you cannot interlock Jenga, right? You cannot interlock Jenga. So there is a little difference in dealing with blocks. And of course, when you eventually move your child to bricks, then you can't compare it with Jenga. So, for a structured toy or, to build something, yes, you can still use Jenga, but what's also coming in place here are a lot more other skills, which you probably can't compare it with Jenga, right? So, great. Thank you very much. We've got somebody from, I don't know, there's somebody called as Alex. So hi, Alex. You want me to say a hi? So great. Thank you very much. Have a great evening. And I'm going to really hope to see you all soon, very, very soon. And a quick bye and a quick, a quick bye from all these little friends who are here along with me during this workshop. Great. Bye-bye and see you soon and be safe. Okay. Just going to leave